Alrighty YouTube, so on this second part of my video here, we're going to talk a little bit about the S4 chipset that's actually powering the phone. It's a dual-core processor that's powering this. It's the new S4, the new Qualcomm processor, and it's actually not bad at all. Now I'm a big fan of the Exynos processor that you can find on the Galaxy S2. You know, quad cores are awesome processors as well, but I think that with a quad-core processor, you're probably going to go through battery life like crazy. Even though you have that fifth core to help battery life, I think 4 cores on a phone is too much. I think a dual core with some optimized software is actually better, and I think that's what the S4 is actually doing. It's able to withstand HTC Sense 4.0. I haven't ran into any issues, and you know, I don't really beat around the bush. If I have a problem with the phone, or if I find it to be slow or sluggish, you know, I tell it like it is on my reviews. With the S4, it's actually been pretty fast, and I don't have my phone rooted or anything. So if you're into rooting, you could probably overclock it and, you know, make it a ton faster. But as it is right now, straight out of the box stock, it's actually very fast. No problems running any type of games. I was playing Grand Theft Auto. I actually had Netflix as well. I don't really use that too much, but I did try it out. It had been working fine. I actually uninstalled them because I don't really game or watch a lot of movies on my phone, but I did test it out and it was just fine. The processor is actually pretty good. I'm surprised that it's able to run Sense pretty smooth, and I didn't have any problems. So the S4 is actually a really good processor. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is the radios on the phone. Now, with my Galaxy Nexus, with my Epic 4G Touch, and any other phone that I've had, I can't make any phone calls inside of my house. I live in a really bad Sprint area. With the Evo 4G LTE, I was actually able to get about 2 bars inside of my house. So that was pretty crazy. I was able to make phone calls inside of my house. Now, it wasn't the best quality. Actually, when I stepped outside of my house, it was a lot better. But you know, that's something to keep in mind. It's way better than any Samsung radio or any type of phone that I've used that were Samsung phones. This is a really good, there's a really good radio inside of the phone. Also, GPS has been really solid. You're able to latch on to a satellite right away if you're using GPS, so it's actually really good. So HTC, you know, you really can't expect anything else from HTC. They're really solid. Another thing I forgot to mention is the battery does get a little bit hot. Sam J. Poland, he has a YouTube channel, you know, another tech reviewer. He's a really good one. He made a video talking about the HTC One X and how it was getting really super hot. I haven't had the phone get extremely hot, but it's been hot enough to the point where I may want to just put the phone to the side, maybe put it on airplane mode and just let it chill for a little while. I don't like it when phones get really hot. It kind of, you know, it makes me a little paranoid with radiation and whatnot. Even though I have a case on the Evo 4G LTE most of the time, it kind of did worry me a little bit. I don't know if it's just this unit, but that's something to keep in mind. The battery does get pretty hot, and the thing is, you can't remove it, so it's not like you can swap it out and put a cool one in there. So that's a big fail on HTC's part. Now, when talking about software, actually talking about the dual-core processor and the software, I feel that HTC Sense 4.0 has been optimized pretty good to run on the Qualcomm S4 processor. I haven't had any slowdowns, I haven't had any problems at all. It's been able to withstand Sense 4.0. Like I said, no issues. It's been fairly smooth, and you know, I really can't say too much about the chipset. It's just a really awesome processor. And Sense, you know, if you're used to Sense, if you're coming from like an Evo 4G or an Evo 3D, you're not gonna, it's not a big departure from previous versions of Sense, but there is less eye candy and more functionality. So it's not going to be as buggy as Sense 3.5, I believe it was, on the Evo 3D and on the Sensation. So it's a lot better. You actually have folders now and all the good stuff from ICS. Now it's going to be a little bit different from stock. The folders look a little bit different. Your dock is actually going to be different in there, and whatever apps you have there, they're actually going to be on your lock screen. That's something that I wish HTC would change, where you could have different ones on your lock screen than you do on your dock, but that's different there. Also, the multitasking is going to be very different from ICS. You only get a big thumbnail, and you get a preview of the second application here, and you have to swipe to get to the rest of the apps, and then you can just throw them away the same. the same way you do on ICS, but I think you get more functionality out of stock ICS when you have 4 thumbnails of your recent apps as opposed to just having one. And this is the example of eye candy. You know, HTC wants to make them look cool, and you know, that's what it is. Something that I've noticed though is the kinetic scrolling isn't very fast on the Evo 4G LTE. The best way that I can explain kinetic scrolling, I'm not, you know, too tech savvy here, but I would say it's the force, or it's the amount of force that you use when swiping on a screen. So certain phones, you swipe once and they go straight, like really fast to wherever you want to get to. HTC has actually made it where no matter how hard or how soft you swipe it, it's going to be the same speed at all times. I've noticed that on the web browser. Now on the Galaxy S2, if you have a Galaxy S2, you know that when you swipe down, it basically swipes, it pans down really fast. If you swipe up really fast, it'll go up really fast. If you swipe it slow, it'll go slow. With HTC, you basically get one speed. And you know, that's a little pet peeve of mine. I would want it to go a little bit faster if I'm swiping a little bit faster, but you know, that's what you get with kinetic scrolling. Now the web browser is actually really good. No problems in pinching to zoom. The text automatically resizes itself, so that's an added bonus there. And everything just looks amazing on the web browser. Everything just seems to work fine. No checkerboards or anything. It's just been a really pleasant experience using the web browser. Another place where I've had a good time is with the camera on the phone. The interface of the camera has been really awesome. You get some added functionality here on the sides. You have different filters, sort of like Instagram. Come on, focus. Well, it's not going to focus, but anyhow, the camera's been really good. I've been uploading pictures to Instagram and onto my Facebook. And I would show you, but you know, it's personal stuff, but I've been taking pictures, really awesome pictures. They look amazing on the screen. And you know, overall, I think the customizations that HTC has made to the phone, with like the folders and everything, I guess if you know, if you don't mind that, it's going to be a good phone for you. I think if you're coming from stock ICS, you might want to consider either rooting it or using a home launcher. I don't know if you're going to be too much into Sense. It didn't really bug me that much, but I wasn't too thrilled with Sense. Another thing before I finish the video is when you stack up 2 icons, there's this big gap that you get in between the 2 apps. I don't understand why. I know it's a 720p resolution, the same thing as on my Galaxy Nexus, but you get like a good finger in between the apps. I don't know if it's because they didn't use the Roboto font on the HTC Evo 4G LTE, but there's a big gap, and that's something that I wasn't too crazy about. You can only fit so many on your home grid there. So overall, oh, and I also forgot to mention right before I finish this video that it has Beats audio integration. Now I think that's just a gimmick. I think it's a bunch of crap. If you download a few apps with equalizers, you can increase your bass and decrease your mids and your trebles. So, you know, a lot of people might dig it. I think it's just a gimmick, but that's, you know, that's an added bonus. You get Beats by Dre on the Evo 4G LTE. Overall, wrapping it up, I think it's a really solid phone. I love the screen. I love the camera. I actually love the hardware. I don't like the design, but I've been rocking it with the case, so I can only see my camera grill. I love the kickstand. I love the feel of the phone. It's a really solid phone, and a really beautiful screen and great cameras. That's what I look for in a phone. So on all fronts, it's an awesome phone. Now that being said, I really can't use this phone as my primary phone just simply because I can't remove the battery. I would be using this. I would actually sell my Galaxy Nexus and just stick to this, but I can't swap the battery. And if you're the type that is on your phone at all times, and you got to have a phone with a fresh battery, then this probably isn't going to be your phone. Although battery life is amazing battery life, you still can't swap it out. So for that simple reason, I can't use this phone as my primary phone. Wish I could remove the battery. I actually reached out to HTC on Twitter, and they said, you know, we're going to take all feedback into consideration and whatnot. But really amazing phone, really solid, awesome screen, awesome hardware, great cameras, and that's what it is. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this is useful and helpful. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers.